So, Governor, do you recognize this picture?
I do recognize the picture.
Briefly describe it to us. What is it? What's going on?
These were folks, I believe the people in the picture now are incarcerated in Minnesota.
It's a precinct 3 burning down because of your decision. Was this a peaceful protest? Was this a peaceful protest?
The gentleman standing there?
Was this a peaceful protest?
It was a criminal act that people were prosecuted for.
So it wasn't a peaceful protest, right?
Folks, you are not going to believe what went down in the House Oversight Committee. We've got Representative Pete Stauber, a guy who spent 23 years wearing a badge, absolutely taking the gloves off against Minnesota Governor Tim Walz. We're talking about a precinct burning to the ground. We're talking about calling law enforcement Gestapo. And then, oh boy, then it gets personal. Stauber drops a stolen valor accusation right to the governors. Face complete with receipts if you care about the truth in service and law and order. You need to see this. Let's roll the tape.
Thank you very much, Governor Walz. Thanks for being here today. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and I ask you to keep your remarks brief. I got a lot to go through. As you know, I spent 23 years as a law enforcement officer in the state of Minnesota. You know that, right? Do you know that, yes or no?
I don't know how many.
It's not a trick question.
I don't know.
I'll answer it for you. 23 years in Duluth.
Thank you for that.
So, Governor, do you recognize this picture?
I do recognize the picture.
Briefly describe it to us. What is it? What's going on?
These were folks, I believe the people in the picture now are incarcerated in Minnesota.
It's a precinct 3 burning down because of your decision. Was this a peaceful protest? Was this a peaceful protest?
The gentleman standing there?
Was this a peaceful protest?
It was a criminal act that people were prosecuted for.
So it wasn't a peaceful protest, right? As I watched lawlessness devastate Los Angeles this past week, I was reminded of your failure to protect Minnesota from similar riots. Governor Walz, on May 29th of 2020, during your own press conference, you described your response to the riots during the 2020 Summer of Love as, quote, an abject failure. Governor, I couldn't agree with you more.
That's out of context.
And on May 17th, 2025, you were at the law school, graduating Minnesota Law School, talking to the graduates. And we've talked about this. You called the enforcement of illegal immigrants a modern-day Gestapo. You've been asked 3-4 times if you would rescind that, and you won't. Will you rescind it? This is like the 5th time, yes or no?
Congressman, I was talking to law students about due process, and I said
you
took an oath to due process.
Governor, was there a violent al-Shabaab terrorist who entered our country illegally, arrested in Minneapolis last year? Yes, there was. Were there 3 illegal child predators arrested by ICE in St. Paul earlier this year?
I certainly hope so. That's their job.
Yes, there was. Are the officers who arrested the al-Shabaab terrorists or the child predators, are they Nazis or the Gestapo?
The tactics of wearing
They're not.
The tactics of wearing masks,
unidentified. Why did you tell us that they were the Gestapo? Do you believe that any of the violent illegal immigrants I have mentioned have a right to be in this country?
I don't know what their immigration status was.
They're illegal, violent criminals that the ICE took off the streets of Minneapolis.
You did not say, Congressman, what their status was.
Governor, last week, law enforcement officers in the state of Minnesota took 900 pounds of meth off the streets. Do you support that?
We certainly do.
Do you know that ICE assisted in that arrest, those arrests and investigations? Do you support the assistance of ICE in that enforcement action? Yes or no?
I can't speak to that because we were not included in the briefing.
You don't know if ICE was part of it? I'm telling you they were.
I don't have that data. I would have to trust you.
Will you apologize to our constituents and law enforcement officers for making them and their families less safe with your incendiary actions?
I'll congratulate them that they helped us work on the largest pension bill for Minnesota law enforcement in 30 years.
Claiming my time. Governor, what weapons did you carry in war?
Congressman, for 24 years I carried...
No. What weapons did you carry in war?
What did you carry in
What
uniform?
I
You
tell you
know I
what, Governor,
misspoke.
you're
You know I
barking down the
misspoke.
wrong tree, okay?
You know I
You
misspoke.
lied to the Minnesotans. You said that you carried weapons in war.
Mr.
That is
Chairman.
stolen valor. You know what? My wife
Yeah,
served 25,
Mr. Chairman,
24 years in the
I
a little bit of
military,
respect for the
and
witness.
she's an Iraq war veteran.
You know what I mean?
She was
This is
over in the,
hectoring. It's
in
not-
the war
not-
zone. That's
On a point
stolen
of-
valor, and I'm so
Point of order,
disgusted with
Mr.
you.
Chairman.
And so are the people that you served
Point
with.
of order.
Point of order.
That's stolen
Halt
valor.
just a minute. State
Stolen
point.
valor.
Mr.
You didn't
Chairman,
carry weapons
that's
in
not questioning
war.
the witness.
Congressman, my 24 years was
That's not-
public
Will
for
you
many, many
apologize
years.
for lying?
Objection.
Will you
No, I misspoke.
apologize for lying?
Objection.
All right. Hold on. Pause.
That's not questioning a witness. That's not questioning a witness. You
The
think
point of
so,
order.
huh?
State your point, Mr. Rinkelmann.
No, you're
State
yelling
your
at him.
point.
You're
There you
hectoring.
go.
You're hectoring. You're hectoring.
All right.
You're hectoring.
State your
Governor,
point.
you didn't carry
That's
weapons
not-
in war, did you?
State your point.
You didn't
Proceed.
carry
You
weapons
got
in war.
24 seconds.
Did you?
Congressman, you
You
know I
didn't carry
misspoke.
weapons in war, yes or no?
Thank you.
You lied. Governor, what rank did you retire at?
I
What rank
served,
did you retire at?
Congressman, I served my battalion as the command sergeant
That's
major.
not the
and
question
for
I asked.
pay-
What rank did you retire at?
I retired as a master sergeant in
Okay,
EA.
here's your coin that says you retired at a command sergeant major. That's
Says
your
I wore
challenge
that.
coin.
It
This
says
is-
I wore the rank.
This is that's right. You didn't retire, did you?
I did
Stolen
retire after
valor.
24 years.
Here is a picture of your coin, your challenge
Jesus
coin.
Christ.
I'm disgusted with you. I'm just. Governor,
Chairman, the time
you lie
has
when the
expired.
truth-
Congressman,
you lie
I'm-
when the
I'm
truth is
sorry. Time's
better.
expired.
You called half Trump supporters Nazis and fascists, and you know what? That's why the Minnesota Police and Peace Association did not support you in the last election because
Oh,
you're
I
missing
support
in
them.
action.
Gentlemen's time's expired.
On behalf of the folks from the land of rocks and cows, thank you. Now you back.
Chair recognizes Ms. Tenney from New York.
I honestly don't know how Governor Walz sat there through that without shrinking into his chair. Representative Pete Stauber didn't just question him, he dismantled him piece by piece. First off, did you catch the beginning? Stauber served 23 years as a police officer in Duluth, 23 years. And whilst the governor of the same state tries to play it off like, I don't know your background, give me a break, that was dismissive, and it set the tone for exactly how out of touch Walz is with the men and women in blue. Then Stauber pulls out that photo. The 3rd precinct is burning. That image is seared into everyone's memory from 2020. Stauber asks a simple question: was this a peaceful protest? And watching Walz try to dance around that was painful. It wasn't a protest, Governor. It was a riot. It was a surrender. And Stauber nailed him with his own words. Abject failure. Walz tried to claim it was out of context. But come on, when a police station burns down on your watch, failure is the only word for it. This part actually made me angry. We found out Walz called IC agents and law enforcement a modern-day Gestapo. Think about that. These are guys taking violent criminals, terrorists, and child predators off the street, and the governor compares them to Nazis. Stauber gave him chance after chance to apologize or rescind it 5 times, and Walz refused. That tells you everything you need to know about his respect for the badge. But the nuke, the absolute nuke in this exchange, was the stolen valor accusation. This is where Stauber, a guy whose wife is an Iraq war vet, drew a line in the sand. Walz is on record claiming he carried weapons in war, but as Stauber pointed out, Walz never deployed to a combat zone. You don't get to claim combat status. If you weren't there, it's a slap in the face to every soldier who actually was in the line of fire. And then the coin, did you see that? Stauber holds up the challenge coin Walz gave out claiming he retired as a command sergeant major, but he didn't. He retired as a master sergeant because he didn't finish the requirements using a rank he didn't earn to boost his political career. That is the definition of stolen valor. Pete Stauber showed us what actual accountability looks like today. He didn't let Walz spin, he didn't let him deflect, and he called out the lies right to his face. We need more leaders like Stauber who aren't afraid to speak the truth even when it gets